Chief, after receiving an ash crystal from the FAC, you started having strange dreams about a desert. A dream where a beautiful woman calls for your name, Chief. You wish the dream would last longer, but it gets interrupted by Guillotine, the chief of Outland Affairs Bureau. The FAC gave you the mysterious ash crystal to analyze the strange disasters happening in the deserts. Mega sandstorms known as tides of ashes are ravaging the lands outside of this city. The FAC proposed a White Sands Crisis Corporation. White Sands is a desert full of hypercube mines. It's one of the most important sources of hypercubes. Without it, this city would be in massive trouble. In recent weeks, the bandits have been ambushing trade routes and stealing hypercubes. These are not your typical bandits. This ash crystal, which the bandits also have, is granting powers to them, giving them confidence. The FAC is currently very busy and unable to deal with the situation, so they have come to ask the MBCC for help. They have come to ask you, Chief, for help. Guillotine is very angry about our analysis, only knows how to cry and not how to solve. Hates sinners, hates outlanders, hates anyone who touches his precious hypercubes, his money-making business. Historical old man with anger issues, grinding his teeth ferociously as he speaks. Gave us confidential clues only because the FAC requested for the Outland Affairs Bureau to share intelligence. Guillotine is a horrible, obnoxious leader who ignored bandits until they became a problem. Hecate and Hela join us on this mission. With no one on site, we get greeted by a mysterious woman with a beautiful voice. Stargazer is what she calls herself, a fortune teller. Ahead of you, the raging gale brings destruction and the mighty earth trembles without end. The ends of the world shall be shaken, and so shall the abyss. When you were about to ask what she meant, a flying ship with a gigantic hypercube force field shield arrives, a shield that weakens the apocalypse and protects the sand ship as it travels through the tides of ashes. V710 Central System, an AI system embedded into the ship. Help has arrived, a super cool cruise ship sponsored by Quinn, the organization led by CEO Miss Eirene, super loaded corporation, at its helm a ravishing beauty but also a genius businesswoman, Eirene. The old farts in power hate her, jealous of her beauty and wealth. They orchestrate smear campaign against Eirene every day. Quinn has a solid reputation splurging on charities every year, so not many people believe the slander. Hela's favorite pastime is seeing these old geezers wasting their money and failing. Mr. Kawakawa, White Sands explorer, our navigator for this mission. Kawakawa is very motivated to be eating something else besides his usual dish, grilled scorpions and lizards. Hela is not the fondest of this little boy. The AI system acknowledges him, but he's a very humble boy who thanks his predecessors for all the teachings. Suddenly, you hear massive explosions. You are getting attacked by the bandits. Kawakawa has a plan to lead them into the quicksand trap in White Sands and wipe them out. The V7010 used to be a battleship which got remodeled, but it kept all its old functions. Hela is impressed by his drifts in the White Sands. She officially welcomes him as the 4th member of Team Hela of the MBCC Special Combat Force. Kawakawa's life's goal is to follow his predecessors, finishing charting the White Sands and find the safest route. The basics of navigation. Sandworms are the most found creatures in White Sands, and the fact that you spot them means tides of ashes will arrive soon. Time to find a shelter. There's an urban legend, the Apostle of Ashes, an unknown horror which resides in tides of ashes, messenger of gods searching for lost followers, leading them to their deaths in the tide. Guillotine is always causing trouble. If given the chance, he would brand you as traitors and eliminate you. God, I hate this guy. All babbles, no action. Hela has the best response. Put your money where your mouth is and come chase them with us. His excuse? This is your mission and not mine. What a freaking coward. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Chief is not scared. Chief will take the risks, and so you embark into the sandstorm. We finally find out what they use the crystal for. Bandits are using the ash crystal to control sandworms. Tides of Ashes is approaching. There's no time to escape. Activate the hypercube force field. Avoid the incoming, it's too late. Bandits destroy the anti-apocalypse shield. The tide of ashes surges forward, swallowing everything. The wind is too strong. Kawakawa uses his powers to bring out a beacon of light, but it's still no good. You use your shackles to strengthen Nightmare, Hecate's pet. Nightmare tries to pull you. Hela and Hecate towards the beacon. But just as you are about to reach the shield, a swarm of sandworms surge out from the ground. You instinctively push Hela and Hecate into the shield into safety. Chief, you are a good parent. Prioritizing the safety of your children, I'm proud. You get lost in the storm. You remember Stargazer. Did she foresee this? Darkness envelops everything around you. Your consciousness surges as if a vortex has spun it a million times. The overwhelming nausea forces you awake. You open your eyes. You have no idea how long you have been swallowed for by the tides of ashes. Space and time seem to have lost their meaning in this crazy situation. You spot the Apostle of Ashes, creatures in dark black. You yell out for Hecate and Hela, but not a single sound comes out. Just when you were about to be swallowed by the dark creatures, Stargazer saves you while driving a horror cycle. Holy shit, she is so cool. She hums you a song to calm down your heartbeat. She gives off a suffocating sensation of power, so much that even the nearby corruptors tremble in fear. Without a doubt, this is the power of a sinner. Power stemming from mania, a sinner that can make corruptors tremble from mere gaze. S-rank sinner. Lost without your daughters, you become very dependent on Stargazer. If you were to meet the Apostle of Ashes, it would be your end. You decide to entertain her playful teasing. She reassures you that if you stay by her side, you will be safe, Chief. Lean as much as you want. Stargazer gently caresses your face, as if teaching a child who knows nothing about the world. Knowing you are in a very bad spot right now, she uses this opportunity to make you very dependent on her. Without her, you don't stand a chance of survival in this desert. Without her, you would be lost. She's the only living, breathing being you can count on. She wants to guide you. She wishes to embrace you. It's only the two of you alone in this desert, with no one to interrupt. She has a little wish that she wants you to grant her, if she helps you out. Well, it's not like you have a choice anyway. Before you could think it through, she yanks you on her hovercraft, hugs you tightly from behind, puts her arms around you, leans in close, rests her head over your shoulder and speeds into the midnight. The two of you arrive at the shelter. You can see she's not the happiest. She's not very fond of humans, because humans hurt each other, and others too. They cause trouble wherever they are. She ponders whether she and the others who hold superhuman powers and knowledge can ever be accepted by human society. Humans see sinners as heretics and monsters. They want to expel them, imprison them, and destroy them. The people at the shelter are afraid of the two of you. Stargazer is seen as a heresy, dispelling sandworms, traveling through the sandstorms and returning alive from the tides of ashes. There's no one who wouldn't fear such a monster. Stargazer is not a monster. Chief, you stand your ground. She appreciates your willingness to speak on her behalf. Stargazer, hated by the people, casted away from society, discriminated against for having powers, she alone treads a lonely path in this desert. Chief, don't let her hand go. She's no monster, just a lonely soul looking for companionship. Unlike the judgmental, Chief always gets to know people before passing a judgment. Chief, you're so cool and special, beloved by White Sands, beloved by Stargazer. In your dreams, Chief stands in the middle of a white desert, caught in a sandstorm but never afraid, because Chief knows at the end of the dream a pair of soft hands always comes to rescue you. That's why you volunteered for this mission. Stargazer wants you all for herself. She doesn't want you to return to the human world. She wishes for you to stay with her here. Before you could give her an answer, you hear an explosion. Bandits are attacking again. Bullets and shells rain down. You step in front of Stargazer to protect her, which she finds very cute, considering that she's the real powerhouse. Suddenly, you see Hela and Hecate arrive with a familiar ship. Time to beat up the crazy desert bandits with them. After finishing them off, Stargazer bids you farewell. You don't wish to separate. She is a sinner, holds immense power and knowledge, so you invite her as the MBCC chief. She does not answer just simply, flashes you a smile. Introducing Stargazer to everyone. Kava Kava becomes a huge fan. Dominated by Mommy Stargazer, Kava Kava's face blushes bright red. Hela finds it amusing and teases Kava Kava about the whole ride. Tides of Ashes, here we go again. A massive battle erupts between the bandits and you. Using the ash crystal, the bandits slowly go mad and eventually turn into corruptors. Even after taking down the boss of the bandits, the evil guillotine wants you to keep chasing them, even if it means going back into the dangerous sandstorm and abandoning the innocent people at the shelter. You tell Guillotine to fuck off. You want to save the people, but there's no time. The Tides of Ashes is approaching. Time is running out. You decide to give the precious ash crystals to Stargazer for her to use her mysterious power to save the situation. You gamble on her abilities and wisdom of Stargazer to open a path for you, even if you are condemned as a heretic later on. Stay with me, Chief, and use your shackles, she proclaims. You obey her words and begin casting the power of the shackles into the dead crystal. Stargazer's hands glow red as she raises up the ash crystal, her gaze reverent, as if whispering to the stars, "Scatter, depart, wallow, don't look back, don't look back." The tides of ashes dissolves into starry patches of light, scattering to the wind. Rummaging through the bandits' base, you find out they got the crystal from a creature trapped in the depths of the tides of ashes, called the Dream Flower, the true source of the tides of ashes. If you can solve this problem, the White Sands can regain its tranquility. Before the final journey, you hold a party. Cheers! While Hela and Hecate and Kavakava are having an amazing time, Stargazer sneaked off and you followed her. Under the full moon, Stargazer is dancing. Immersed you are awestruck by this earnest and special side of hers. You hold your breath, but she still notices you. She already knows you want to ask her to stay, so she asks you why you want that. Stargazer is not lonely, but in search of her fated lover, her partner in crime, her soulmate, and she believes it might be you, Chief. Like you helped her before, she wants to help you again. And before the night ends, she says, "I will help you, my little monster who wants to understand monsters." Stargazer combines the two ash crystals to summon shadows, monsters that belong to White Sands, to the Dream Flower. Stargazer deceived us. She needed the ash crystals. The Dream Flower saved her, so she belongs to this world. To enact revenge on humans, she used us to get both crystals. Why did she save you, Chief? These questions keep pondering on your mind. Humanity must pay the price for what they did to White Sands and to the Dream Flower. She wants you to uphold the end of your deal, to keep your promise. She wants you to leave and go back to this city. Chief, you refuse to give up on Stargazer. Fear has power. It attracts and drives the tides of ashes. To survive it, you need to have a peaceful mind. You order Hecate and Hela to trail behind while you follow the Apostle of Ashes, eventually leading to a realm that has been silent for many years. You find an abandoned palace. Your nose picks up the scent of Stargazer, her very essence. You quickly run over there only to trip and find scientific equipment, recordings that capture the experiments, tragic and evil experiments, using humans as sacrificial lambs to find out dangerous unknown life form Dream Flower mural. Floor collapses, plunge into darkness, unbearable plain, surrounded by corruptors. You run as fast as you can, hoping that you will lose them in this maze-like palace. Desert bandits detect your location too. It's not getting easier. The floor collapses again, but this time you have fallen on a man-made platform. It's almost as if its job was to catch you. So you have come. Missed me that much? That familiar voice, that familiar tone. You look up frantically at Stargazer. Behind Stargazer stands the Dream Flower. She questions your motive to follow her. You want to know the truth. You found out the recordings about the Dream Flower, but that's not the main reason you are here. You want to know more about her, about Stargazer. This information really shook her. There are 3 ash crystals. One the bandit stole, the second one the bureau stole, and the third one is Stargazer herself. Acting on behalf of Dream Flower, she became a sinner for Dream Flower. It almost completely replaced her heart. One has been depleted, one has been contaminated by greed and cruelty, and the last one has no compassion left for humanity. By returning the ash crystals back to the Dream Flower, it will engulf the entire this city with tides of ashes. Even now, face to face with the terrifying truth, she still begs you to leave and return to safety as soon as possible. Star Mummy has not fully given up yet. You just know it, Chief. Why else would she be so adamant on you escaping to safety? If she returns the third heart, then she will die. As the chief of MBCC, you cannot allow this to happen. Not only do Sinner's heart not belong to some weird flower, but they belong to you. As the Rizzler of this city, you cannot and will not lose to some freaky alien flower. She walks towards the flower, and they start to fuse and become one. Stargazer, you shout from your lungs. Go now, leave this place, she begs one last time. Hela and Hecate arrive. Hela is not the happiest, there's still a chance. She's still not completely disappointed in the world. We are going to save Stargazer, there's still hope. She wants to be saved. Chief, don't give up. Chief, Stargazer is waiting for you. It's not over yet. You walk towards the Dream Flower, unleashing your shackles into it, hoping the Dream Flower would understand the kindness of humanity, the good side, the uncorrupted. You entered her consciousness. It looks like a typical desert. You follow a voice, you touch a crystal, it belongs to the Tides of Ashes. The shrill whines of the Apostle of Ashes instantly sweep across your brain. Your eyes are bloodshot and you feel warm liquid gushing out from your nose and ears. It seems like you still need Stargazer's help. You call for her, you shout for her. Please, if you want to restore the Dream Flower, become my companion. Even though you said you were deceiving me from the beginning, I believe that from the moment you saved my life, there's no deception between us. A red glow bursts from your hand, you reach out to touch the crystal, the faint starry glow suddenly becomes blindingly bright. Stargazer's heart is responding to your wish to save the Dream Flower and herself. The three hearts converge, glow before finally transforming the hearts into a dazzling star. The sandstorm gradually disperses, the vanished figure reappears before you. It's the Dream Flower looking like Stargazer. It walks up to you and shows you Stargazer's past. She had a very rough childhood, seen as a monster for having powers that the others didn't, seen as a cursed being, ostracized for being different, looked down upon by her very own people, branded as a heretic, expelled by her loved ones, shunned and sent to hell, abandoned by her tribe, wished death upon by her people. She runs and cries into the desert. When nobody stood beside her, only the Dream Flower showed compassion. Dream Flower tries to convince you that Stargazer doesn't want to have anything to do with humanity ever again, but that's not quite true. She responded to you, Chief. She sang a song at the very end. She's asking for help. She still wants to stay in this world. She still wants to live, and most importantly, she doesn't belong to the Dream Flower. Touched by your speech, the Dream Flower lets go. You reunite with Stargazer. She's still alive. I mean, S-rank sinner for a reason, right? Not like a flower can defeat an S-rank sinner. We know what they are capable of. You wish to use the shackles to support her heart. She laughs. Your shackles have already replaced the Dream Flower's heart. She no longer relies on the power of the Dream Flower. You have bound her to your side forever. Oh Chief, your charisma knows no bounds. Stargazer gently twirls a strand of your hair and steps forward to give it an affectionate kiss. From now on, this world of lies has two monsters. Stargazer and Dream Flower bid each other farewell. You get woken up by Kawa, hugged by Hela and Hecate. Chief, you always make your daughters worry. Chief, never change, Chief. Stargazer's affection towards you has truly skyrocketed. She now has a special nickname for you, Chief. You are her little monster. She gives you advice about not trusting blindly people, not giving away your heart so easily, and before you could shackle her, she rides on a sandworm's way, promising she will return to you one day. This was the first ever event story in Path to Nowhere. This brings so much nostalgia. Stargazer, what a wild sinner to be introduced to. Hello everyone, I hope you had a good time. If you've enjoyed your time, feel free to like and subscribe. Before heading out, let me show you a little teaser for my next video. I hope you guys are ready and have saved enough hypercubes for Mantis. Thank you again for watching. See you later, Chief. Autumn out.